Welcome to your February 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering the major transits for the month ahead using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I strongly recommend that you watch your horoscope for your ascendant sign first and foremost, and that is because the ascendant sign will be the most accurate for you overall, generally speaking. Having said that, the sun sign horoscope will tell you more about your life goals and your career, whereas the moon sign horoscope will pertain more to your family and your living circumstances. So if you've got time to watch all three, go for it. Now, lastly, before I get into your horoscope, I just wanted to let you know that I still have my 2022 yearly horoscopes available for purchase, so I will leave a link in the description box below. And now let's get into your horoscope. Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your February 2022 horoscope. Before I get into your reading today, I just wanted to pull an animal spirit totem card just to see what energies will be with you for the month ahead. And we've got the butterfly. So you guys are going to be going through some sort of huge transformation in the month of February. Perhaps you are transitioning into a new job. Maybe you are becoming a parent, or perhaps you are ending some sort of relationship. On a different level, there could just be a lot of internal work that you've been doing, or some sort of personal development course that you've been working on. In some way, shape or form, you guys are going to feel like a brand new version of yourselves by the end of the month. Now, on the 1st of February, we are going to see a new moon take place in Aquarius at 12 degrees in your 8th house, and it will be in a close conjunction with Saturn at 15 degrees, and this will be squaring Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house at 10 degrees. So Saturn and Uranus are both the rulers of Aquarius. So this particular new moon may involve some sort of element of internal conflict or tension. Having said that, given that this is occurring in your 8th house, some of you may be pursuing a new career which is connected to the 8th house. And I'm saying that because Saturn is a planet which can represent our career in astrology. So an 8th house career could involve some sort of psychologist, whether this is a counselor, a clinical psychologist, or even a healer. So maybe you are a Reiki practitioner, maybe you are a surgeon or a paramedic. Another way we can look at 8th house careers would be anyone involved with handling other people's finances or resources. So an example would be an accountant or a mortgage broker. Now, another way that this new moon can play out in your 8th house is that you may be combining resources with another individual in some sort of official capacity. And I'm saying that because of this conjunction to Saturn. So maybe you are joining bank accounts with your significant other. Maybe you and your business partner are taking a loan out together. Another way that this can play out is that you may be pursuing someone else's resources or money through legal means. So what I mean by that is that you could be involving a lawyer, or you could be taking this through the court system. And an example of this could be you may be taking someone to court for child support services, or there may be some sort of dispute over an inheritance that you need to sort out. So this square to Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house indicates that there may be some sort of unexpected event which takes place with regard to whatever it is that you are initiating, or someone could be throwing a spanner in the works. So maybe you thought that it would be a very direct course of action that you would need to take to either take someone to court, initiate legal proceedings, or perhaps this is with your pursuing of a new career, and maybe there's some sort of hiccup which you meet along the way, or you could receive a bit of pushback from a friend or an acquaintance or some sort of business connection. And I'm saying that because the 11th house represents all of those individuals. Now, on the 9th of February, we are going to see Mars in Capricorn in your 7th house, making a trine to Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. This is a very, very positive aspect. And this indicates that a friend may be helping you to solve a problem, or they could be encouraging you to initiate something new. Now, because Mars rules over your 10th house, which represents career, and it rules over your 5th house, which represents owning your own business, romance, and children, this friend could be helping you start your own business. They could be hyping you up and telling you that you should either go for a promotion, change careers, quit your job perhaps, or they could be giving you some sort of advice when it comes to how to deal with an issue with one of your children, or this could be to do with starting a family. And given that Mars rules over your 5th house, it could be your romantic partner who is giving you advice with regard to your career or owning your own business, or they could have a really good idea when it comes to what you can do to encourage your children or help them in some way, shape, or form. Now, because Mars rules over taking action, it could be that your friend or your significant other could be physically helping your children in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they're taking them to a sporting class. Maybe they're looking after them for the day. Or perhaps they are helping your child in some other kind of practical way. Now, the 5th house is connected to speculative investments, and the 11th house is connected to marketplaces of all kinds. So maybe you're receiving a hot tip when it comes to investing in the stock market or cryptocurrencies, or perhaps you are receiving help or guidance with regard to innovating something new, or this could be to do with your social media platform. Given that this aspect involves Uranus, it is highly likely that this assistance that you receive from another person could be quite unexpected, so it could come out of the blue, or the solution could be quite ingenious in nature. Lastly, with this aspect, you could just be looking at collaborating with another person, and perhaps your content online goes viral in some way, shape, or form. Now, on the 11th/12th of February, we're going to see Mercury and Pluto form a conjunction at 27 degrees in Capricorn in your 7th house. This will actually be the third conjunction that these two planets have made since the end of December in 2021. So I see this as being a make it or break it moment when it comes to one or more of your personal relationships. And I'm saying that because the 7th house rules over partnerships and marriage and all of your one-to-one connections. So you could be saying goodbye to a relationship with another person. Now, given that this conjunction involves Mercury and Mercury rules over your 3rd house, it's highly likely that this individual would be a co-worker, a friend, a teammate, or a schoolmate, or this could even be a sibling. Now, because this conjunction involves Pluto, and Pluto represents death as well as rebirth, this is where we're getting the make it or break it vibes. So on one level, if you've experienced some sort of disagreement or discord with this other individual for a long period of time, you could decide to finally just put your differences aside, forgive each other, or at the very least, move on with your relationship. Worst case scenario is that you decide that you just don't want this person in your life anymore because they may have some toxic traits, or they could be quite fixated with exerting a level of control or dominance over you. Now, another way that this conjunction could play out is that you may uncover important information about one of those aforementioned individuals. You don't necessarily need to do something with this information, but given that Pluto is involved here and Mercury rules over your 3rd house of communications and information, and Mercury rules over your 12th house of that which is hidden, perhaps you've just discovered some sort of juicy secret about a relative of yours, a friend, or someone that you work with. Now, I would definitely expect you to be having some sort of intense conversation with one of those individuals around this day. So once again, that's the 11th or the 12th of February, plus or minus a day. So conversations can be very, very intense. And with Pluto involved here, you could actually get to the root cause of some sort of issue. Now, because Mercury rules over your third house, which represents contracts, and the seventh house also is related to contracts, there could be some sort of contract which is renewed or revived or even brought back from the brink of death. So as an example, maybe there was a contract that you had signed to do a deal with another person. Maybe you were selling a vehicle, just as an example, and you thought that this deal was dead in the water, and then all of a sudden this person comes out of the woodwork and they're like, no, I want to buy your vehicle off you. Now, with Mercury conjunct Pluto in your seventh house, this indicates that you could receive some kind of life-changing reading of an occult nature. And I'm saying that because Mercury rules over your third house, which is very connected to spirituality. Mercury itself represents communications, and Pluto represents some sort of psychological impact taking place. And of course, Pluto is connected to psychology and the occult. So if it's not some sort of astrology reading or tarot reading, it could be a psychology session which helps you get to the root cause of some sort of self-sabotaging behavior that you have been exhibiting. Now, on the 16th of February, we're going to see a full moon in Leo take place at 27 degrees in your second house, and it will be making an exact in conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn in your seventh house. Full moons indicate a situation reaching its peak or even coming to a close. And once again, I'm being drawn to the butterfly here, so I really feel like around the 16th of February is when you will be experiencing this huge transformation. Given that this full moon is occurring in your second house, you could be receiving a lump sum of money, or a source of income for you on a personal level could be coming to an end. Now, because of this in conjunct to Pluto, there's going to be some sort of confusion which takes place around the full moon, which is in connection to whatever chapter is coming to a close in your life. So just as an example, if you are seeing a source of income coming to a close, this could impact one of your personal relationships. And that is because Pluto is in your seventh house of one-on-one relationships. Or perhaps your partner, whether this is your significant other or a business partner, has something to say about this. So maybe their opinion on the matter is at odds with your beliefs with regard to the situation. Now, some of you may be having an epiphany when it comes to your self-worth, and perhaps this is bringing up a little bit of confusion when it comes to one or more of your personal relationships. So perhaps you are realizing that you deserve to be treated with more respect than what you have been receiving in one of these relationships. And in terms of where this confusion can come into play, maybe now you're thinking about what this means for you and your relationship with this other person. Maybe you're going to be looking at reassessing your expectations in this relationship, and perhaps this is going to cause a little bit of tension within this relationship, or even just a misunderstanding. And it doesn't need to be, the end of a relationship. It could be your expectations in a business partnership, or perhaps you're looking at reassessing the price of your services and your products, and maybe you wanting to increase these prices or change around the structure of your services is a little bit clunky when it comes to the timing of this. So just as a way that could play out, maybe you had recently increased your prices and you're feeling not that great about doing so again, but you feel like you have to increase the prices for this to be in alignment with your spiritual values. Lastly, with this full moon in your second house, you could be receiving some sort of possession or valuable, or perhaps you're receiving a valuation of a possession or a valuable. And this could be at odds with a previous valuation that you had received, or perhaps you were told that you were going to be given a valuable or a possession, and what you receive is quite different from what you expect. Now, on the 16th/17th of February, depending where you live in the world, we're going to see Venus and Mars form a conjunction in Capricorn at 16 degrees in your seventh house. This is a very exciting transit, and we don't actually see Venus and Mars forming a conjunction very often. It will usually form a conjunction once every 2 years, but with some exceptions. For example, in March, we're also going to see Venus and Mars form another conjunction in Aquarius. But I digress. With this conjunction occurring in your 7th house, this can affect you with regard to your property and living circumstances. And I'm saying that because Venus rules over your 4th house, which is connected to property. So you could be looking at purchasing a property. And even if you work in real estate, it could be that you are selling property. Nonetheless, you could be signing a new lease, and you could be going it alone, or you could be purchasing or signing a new lease with another person. Another way that this can play out is that you and a romantic partner may be forming some sort of new commitment with one another. So if you've been casually dating, this could see you going into an exclusive relationship. And I'm saying that because Venus rules over relationships, Mars rules over your 5th house, which is dating, and Venus and Mars together in your 7th house can really indicate this new relationship taking off. If you are already in a relationship, this can see you getting engaged, getting married, or perhaps you're looking at moving in together. Please remember that this is a general reading, so of course not all of this is going to play out for all of you Cancerians. Nonetheless, another way that this conjunction can play out is that you may form a new friendship with another person or a new business partnership. And this person or this relationship could play a very, very important role in your life. Now, lastly, this conjunction can see you collaborating with another individual, even if you're not literally going into business together. Now, lastly, for the month, on the 24th/25th of February, depending where you live in the world, Mercury in Aquarius in your 8th house will make a square to Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. So this particular aspect poses some sort of challenge, or there could be tensions running high around the end of the month. I just want to preface this by saying that on the 24th/25th of February, we are also going to have Mars in Capricorn sextiling Neptune in Pisces, Venus in Capricorn sextiling Neptune, and Mercury in Capricorn sextiling Chiron. So there really is a lot of supportive energy at the end of the month, and I would say that this would outweigh the, tense energy which you will see with Mercury square Uranus. Nonetheless, this can see you completely changing your mind about a long-term goal or a project, an investment that you've made, and for some of you, there could be unexpected changes to a contract or an agreement. And I'm saying that because Mercury rules over your 3rd house, which represents contracts. Uranus is in your 11th house, which represents investments. And the 8th house is also connected to investments. And essentially, Mercury being in the 8th house can see you having to either go back on your word, or there may be some significant changes to an arrangement that you had made with another person. And this could be quite jarring or quite unexpected. Now, this could see you finding out information about a friend or a sibling, a co-worker, or even someone who you have as a client in your business. So this could be a little bit unsettling, or it could just be unexpected. And, it doesn't need to be anything dramatic, but this could lead you to having to adjust your plans accordingly. Now, lastly, this square could see there being an opportunity for you to collaborate with another individual, or an opportunity for you to work on a communications piece or organize some sort of exciting large event with a big group of people or within one of your communities. So the square aspect can indicate that although this is an exciting opportunity which has come your way, you may need to break your word to someone else or with another commitment that you've made in order to cash in on this opportunity. Maybe the timing is not ideal, or perhaps you have been invited to unveil a prototype for something that you've been working on and you feel like it's a little bit premature. I just want you guys to remember that there is so much supportive energy with Mars and Venus sextiling Neptune in Pisces, as well as Mercury sextiling Chiron. So ultimately, whatever is taking place at the end of the month will be for your best and highest good, even if there are some unexpected happenings which accompany it. And so Cancer, that's all I have for you for February 2022. If you'd like to purchase your 2022 yearly horoscope, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description box below. Take care for the month ahead, and I will see you guys next time.